When I think of Consumer Reports, I think of cars, but evidently they do sunscreens too. Thank you to the viewer, subscriber, who drew my attention to the Consumer Reports July 2022 issue that lists the safest, most effective sunscreens for Consumer Reports tested 52 United States sunscreens to determine which ones were the most effective SPF and which ones don't protect you all that well. They also looked to see if some sunscreens were safer than others, because we all know there's groups of people out there who think that chemical sunscreens aren't that great, that are harmful to your body. I see you in my comment section. And those of you who don't believe in sunscreen or chemical sunscreens and leave me hateful comments, yes, I do delete and block you. If you can have a civil conversation and not say mean, hateful things, then you get to stay. So Consumer Report says that recent studies came out questioning the efficacy of chemical sunscreens and if they penetrate into your bloodstream when you apply, and if the absorption of those chemicals into the bloodstream is harmful. Well, the FDA looked at this and said they needed more research and asked companies to provide them with research. So in 2019, according to Consumer Reports, the FDA announced that it wanted more information on the safety of the chemical ingredients, including whether they are absorbed systemically through the skin into the bloodstream. Soon after, FDA scientists published that indeed 6 common chemical ingredients, avobenzone, homosalate, octinoxate, oxasalate, octocrylene, and oxybenzone, do indeed get into the bloodstream. But the FDA stressed that absorption doesn't mean the ingredients are harmful, right? We don't want to be putting chemicals in our body that are harmful. And I feel like that's with a lot of chemicals, right? We are exposed. As human beings, we're exposed to chemicals every day. Some of them are harmful, some of them aren't. Some of them we know immediately. We might have skin reactions or some kind of allergic reactions to certain chemicals, some of us. Others of us may not have a problem with certain chemicals. Also, we know that through history, some chemicals don't seem to affect us now, but will affect us further down into the future. It's always good to do research on the chemicals that are out there. I do believe research is important. But I think the key question is whether or not these chemical sunscreens, these chemical SPF filters are actually harmful to our bodies if they are absorbed into the bloodstream. One thing I do want to point out for those of you who are against chemical sunscreens is that mineral sunscreens are also chemical. Titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, that's a chemical compound. Just putting that out there because that was new information to me within the past couple months. I didn't even think about it. I just automatically assumed mineral meant safer, meant chemical free, but actually no, it's all chemicals. Please feel free to comment down at anything that I'm saying. I want to hear your opinion down below. So Consumer Reports asked, should I stop using chemical sunscreens? Henry Lim, a leading sunscreen researcher at Henry Ford Health in Michigan, says these UV filters have been used for years by millions of people and there have not been noticeable systemic effects. To me, the key word here is noticeable. I feel like there are always going to be people who have allergic reactions to chemicals and need to be aware that they're allergic to those SPF filters. But the fact that millions of people have been using this over a long period of time gives me hope. It gives me hope in the efficacy and the safety of these chemical filters. Now, I would like to know more of the history of sunscreen. Like, how long have we been using these chemical filters? Has it been 20 years? Has it been 50 years? Like, how long have we known about these chemical SPF filters and have we been using them? If you'd be interested in hearing the history of sunscreen, because I'm interested in that, please let me know in the comment section down below. That could be a video I could make in the future. Why not opt for mineral sunscreen instead of chemical? And here is where I differ a bit from the article based on other research that I have done. Okay, here's what Consumer Reports says. It's true that sunscreens with the minerals titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, which work by creating a physical barrier on the top of your skin, they don't sink in, aren't absorbed into the skin and don't make their way into the bloodstream. Unfortunately, these mineral sunscreens may not be as effective compared with the most efficient chemical filters. This statement sent red flags up to me because both my dermatologist and my melanoma oncologist specialist recommended that I need to be using mineral sunscreens first before chemical sunscreens, because I can only assume that those are more effective. Like, why would they push mineral over chemical, right? Here are the reasons that the article gives. One, it takes a lot of titanium and zinc to create a product with a high enough SPF. We see that on the back of sunscreen bottles, right? 6% zinc oxide versus 26% zinc oxide. And typically, I've noticed the sunscreens with the higher zinc oxide percentage are usually the ones that leave more of a white cast, I've noticed. Mineral sunscreens are thick, gloppy, and hard to rub in. They don't get evenly dispersed on the skin. Now, there is an illustration that I thought was brilliant and has helped me to understand sunscreen application, and I can't remember where I heard it. But basically, your skin is cratered and not like a smooth surface. Think of it like a wall that needs to be painted in your house. You put the first coat on. That's when you notice it's not a smooth surface, right? You see all the divots and the bumps and notice that the paint hasn't fully covered the wall. So you put a second coat on and it covers it more. The skin is the same way. First coat doesn't apply evenly because our skin is not a smooth surface. It has craters, it has divots, it has pockets. It's not smooth. So of course, this is why dermatologists recommend applying sunscreen multiple times every 2 hours throughout the day, not just with mineral sunscreen. Chemical sunscreens you have to reapply frequently every 2 hours because they no longer work. The efficacy is not guaranteed past the time limit on the back of the bottle. Chemical and mineral sunscreens both deal with the same issue, but for different reasons, in my opinion. Another reason they give that mineral sunscreens may not be as effective is because they wipe off more easily. And I have noticed this. I go to sit in my car. My car has black leather. There are sunscreen smears all over my black leather because sunscreen wipes off, which is one of the reasons why I wear pants more than putting sunscreen on my legs, because when I sit down, I notice that mineral sunscreen wipes off on whatever I've sat on. So not only am I getting whatever I've sat on dirty and greasy, I've also taken that sunscreen off of my skin. So that's typically why I wear pants and no longer wear shorts. Sunscreen isn't meant to just be applied once in the morning and that's it. It's meant to be built up over time. And in my humble opinion, mineral sunscreen you can build up over time. Yes, some of the sunscreen may rub off, but that's why you apply it again. And then those areas that it hasn't worn off, you've got even more protection building up on itself. Whereas chemical sunscreens, they just stop working after the time limit on the back of the package. So Consumer Reports suggest if you prefer mineral sunscreens, try the California Kids Tinted Lotion SPF 30+, or the Badger Active Mineral Cream SPF 30 Unscented, because those two mineral sunscreens scored the highest in their testing of the 52 sunscreens. However, they state that they also both ranked well below the performance of chemical sunscreens. Have you guys tried those sunscreens? I haven't tried the Badger because I've heard that it's thick and pasty. Also, again, they've only tested United States, USA sunscreens produced here. So they've tested sunscreens like Neutrogena, Aveeno, Kula, Hawaiian Tropic, Equate, Up and Up by Target. Those are the brands that they've looked at. They haven't considered Korean, Europe, Canada, Australian sunscreens. There are better sunscreens out there in my opinion, but we're going to talk about that more in just a minute as to why they only tested United States sunscreens. So then Consumer Reports starts trying to answer the question, does a spray or lotion work better? And when I read this part, Dr. Dre's voice was in my ear. If you have watched any of Dr. Dre's videos, you know that she has an issue with spray sunscreen, and for good reason. Consumer Reports says, used correctly, both can do a good job. The highest rated product in our rating is a spray. Trader Joe's Spray SPF 50+. Out of the 52 sunscreens they tested, Trader Joe's chemical sunscreen spray, that was the best that they had. Now, in all fairness, I haven't tried that sunscreen, but it's a spray. How can that be the most effective? The article says sprays can be tricky to apply. Yes, they can. Dr. Dre has told us they skip over areas for years and years. I always thought the benefit of a sunscreen spray was that you just spray it on your body and you're done. You're good. You got the SPF 70, 100. That's all you got to do. I thought that was the whole point of sunscreen sprays, was the convenience. You didn't have to get it all messy on your hands. You just spray and go. Spray it on your kids. Then they go and play. You don't have to waste all the time rubbing it in. And no, that's not how they work. Everybody now knows, most everybody, especially those of us with skin cancer, we now know you spray and then you rub it in. And you usually go back for a second layer because the first layer doesn't deposit enough. Well, Consumer Reports takes it a step further and actually says, spray the sunscreen onto the palm of your hand and then rub it in. You're not even supposed to spray it directly on your body. You're supposed to spray it in your hand and then rub it in. What is the point of that? Just use a lotion. I feel like that's not on the back of the bottle. It does say spray and then rub it in, but it doesn't say put it on your hand and then rub it in. The other thing that Consumer Reports points out is don't inhale the sunscreen spray. How? How do you not inhale? How do you not inhale a sunscreen spray? Somebody else is spraying on themselves, and there's a slight breeze, not even a breeze, it's coming your way. You're getting it in your mouth, you're getting it up your nose, for sure. You're spraying it on yourself. Breeze, wind, outside, because you're not supposed to spray it inside. Spray it on your child. You're definitely getting it in your mouth too there. Now this section of Consumer Reports piqued my interest, and I hope it piques yours. Are safer, more effective sunscreens coming? That's the question we all want to know, isn't it? Where are the safe sunscreens? When are we getting them in the United States? We need safe, effective sunscreens. The article says, researchers are exploring formulas that encapsulate chemical sunscreen ingredients, which would keep them on top of the skin and provide protection without being absorbed. When did this start? I'm so excited. Encapsulated chemical sunscreen. Yes, please. This sounds too good to be true. It does go on to talk about how there are other SPF filters that are approved in other countries like Europe, like Canada, that they actively use there, but are not approved here in the States. For this reason, they are currently stuck in the FDA approval process. Another one of you sent me an article that I'm going to do a future video on that also talks about this problem of having better SPF filters that are stuck in the FDA process. Well, that explains a lot, right? To me, that explains why Korean, Australian sunscreens oftentimes perform better on the skin. Just my opinion. One of my favorite sunscreens, the Misha Soft Focus. Love that. I don't know what they're using in it, but it's fantastic. Has a whole different texture. So here is their list of chemical sunscreens. They've got this whole page and a top part over here. And then the mineral sunscreens is just this. So they obviously tested more chemical than mineral sunscreens. And of course, at the top is La Roche-Posay that was the best of their chemical sunscreens, right? Tested the highest. La Roche-Posay and Thelios Melt-In Milk Lotion SPF 60, and then the Equate Walmart Ultra Lotion SPF 50. The La Roche-Posay is $37. The Walmart is $5. Budget sunscreens, Walmart, baby. I hadn't really tried a lot of these, I noticed. And then, of course, they have a bunch of spray sunscreens. They have 3 that scored the highest, the Trader Joe's, the Alba Botanica Hawaiian Coconut Clear Spray, and the Sun Bomb Spray. I do love Sun Bomb. Well, I was mostly curious about the mineral sunscreens, right? So they've got the California Kids and the Badger at the top. They have 2 Aveeno Positively Mineral skin lotions here. That's a thick, pasty sunscreen. I would not recommend that one. It's at the higher of their list. There are so much better sunscreens out there than those pasty, thick, white sunscreens. I'm sorry, Aveeno. I love you. I wear your body lotion. I love some of your face lotions. I swear by your body lotions though. I love your body wash, but the sunscreen, this one, the chemical sunscreen. Was that one on there? Did they test that chemical sunscreen? The Aveeno Protect and Nourish? They did not. That right there is Aveeno's best sunscreen in my opinion. And then I have tried the Blue Lizard Sensitive Mineral Lotion, scored at the bottom. Copper Tone Pure and Simple Mineral Lotion SPF 50, which was recommended by my melanoma oncologist office that I have and use, which also does have a wide cast, but it's a good basic sunscreen. Comes in at $10. Look at that. It's all the way at the bottom of the list. It's like fourth from the bottom. The very bottom, you aren't going to believe this, Australian Gold Botanical Mineral Lotion SPF 30. Now, I'm pretty sure the tinted one for your face is SPF 50. So why didn't they try that one? Because that one definitely has a higher SPF and is more popular. So I don't know how they picked the sunscreens they chose. Did they just put all the names in a hat and draw them out and those were the 52 that they chose to test? I don't know. It doesn't say how they picked what they picked. What are your thoughts? Let me know. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.